I've been hired and fired, I've been called names, I've been played with, therefore I feel familiar with people like that Andrew, called Randy S., and I think I'll be able to analyze the reasons and psychological background of Thomas M.C., which is Matthew Crook's, based also on that so-called true crime rocket science, because what he said in his analysis corresponds totally to what I was just preparing. So I'll do 2 videos about Tom MC, one in English, referring to Andrew, and the Andrewspherists know what it's all about, Vice Market 2017. And another one in German, referring to certain economic, political scientists and their view of the situation in political United States. So now we are going to the parallels. This is just the theory, my opinion. Andrew, also known as Randy, and Tom MC, both were living in Pennsylvania. He at Tom in Bethel Park, Andrew in Dallas. They finished high school. Until high school, they were in a system. Andrew was at college and finished college after 3 years. Andrew did his deed at the age of 24. Tom was at college for 2 years and afterwards was already admissed to 2 universities, of which he had chosen one. Both were in the situation before they had to move out from home. Both had a brother or sister. Andrew's brother was younger, but he moved out already, had moved out. Tom's sister was older, and she had a normal development, so they were always compared to their brother, respectively, sister. Tom was called lonely and quiet, and people said about his being bullied that it would be not a big deal. But Mr. Rocket Science says this is indeed a big deal. I can acknowledge it is a big deal. For other persons, it's just an episode. Both got their jobs by the aid of their parents. I can very well imagine that his Tom's dietary job, was somehow provoked by his parents. Excuse my bad English, I'm so concentrated. And apparently Andrew's job at the supermarket by his father, job at the hospital just for 1 day by his mother. But both were not working in their special field. Andrew's special field was internet and media and doing videos. Tom's special field was mathematics and engineering. Both were interested in guns. The target of Tom, I call this just the target, because who or what was the target was insignificant, even if you won't believe it. Please listen to the video of Mr. Rocket Science. Start at minute 6, because only afterwards he really goes into the sphere. Both never had a girlfriend or obviously no sexual encounters. Both had found a fantasy world. As we all know, Andrew's world was that of comics. And Mr. Rocket Science also said that Tom was in a fantasy world. For both, porn is a fantasy world. Both had one would say an odd appearance. For me, this is an exception because I consider Andrew really attractive. I like his hair and his face, everything. But objectively, both had odd appearance. Like Tom had a long chin. He wore glasses. He was pale. On one very well-known photo, he had a wound on his upper lip, which reminds of herpes. Yes, and this humiliation, it does matter. One moment in the life of Tom also moves me a lot. There was one teacher of him who was called Mr. Knapp, and Mr. Knapp saw that Tom was sitting alone while eating. And Mr. Knapp said to Tom, do you want me to sit on your table? And Tom said, no, I'm fine, and then turned back to his phone. This is a situation that I can very well feel as well. I do not like to eat with people at my table. And when I want to flee, I look into my phone just to get rid of the people around me.